So the whole time that you were talking, I kept seeing flowers, fall flowers. It's like, I'll tell you what it reminds me of. Like, you know how people can take like barrels or buckets, like outdoor flowers, and they plant a bunch of, I don't, maybe it's a chrysanthemum, I'm not sure, but it like fall colors, like oranges and yellows. Like I kept seeing lots of petals, but I kept seeing that kind of flower the whole time that you were talking. So I don't know if that's symbolic to you or if you have a connection with that, but maybe it's something that you saw recently. I don't, but that I always say what I see. So the whole time you're talking, I just kept seeing those kind of flowers, and that's what it reminds me of. But Harold Sadler. Let's see. The song is from him, very much so. Can, are there things now? I know that you'll talk about anything to your therapist, okay? But that coming home from that session, what it feels like he's trying to say is there is something that you wanted to say to the therapist, or you thought about it, or no, maybe I'll save it for next time, or like a retouching of something from like 3 sessions ago, like wanting to like loop back around, bring back up, like that kind of energy. So pertaining to that is what the message, the song is connected to that. Let me ask for more. He's saying that you need to leave things alone that do not tend back to you, that do not tend to you. So it's like there's certain people, places, things that like you're tending to, like however you want to break down the word tend. But he like that is, it's very sharp and loud, that word. He needs you to know the word tend. How you tend to things and how are they tending to you.
Okay.
He's talking about a certain set of skills that you have that you're not utilizing. All of this is connected to everything. Like everything that I'm saying is connected to each other. This is like he's showing me spider web and he's like making that very clear.
Okay.
So in regards to tending to things and a set of skills that you have that you're not utilizing, and it ties in with how you're tending to things. Even discernment. Well, this is like in another bracket, but it's still connected to your discernment. Ties in with a set of skills. It, bending over backwards energy, pleading for recognition.
Wow. Wow.
Just the phone. The thing, like, I'm getting very clear sentences with him. Now, he says that you're under a lot of stress right now, and it's not as big as you make it to be. This is him. He's chuckling. It's not as big, but he says that's who you are, and that's how you operate. But don't lose sleep over half of the things that you're worked up about, because it's not really, it's not detrimental. It's more of Kelly has a certain way of doing things, and if things aren't done the way that Kelly wants them to be done,
It's over.
the clock is spinning. Like I gotta, it's got to be lined up like this. So
Yeah.
he's like trying to reel you back in because you're so micro zoomed in on certain things right now that it's actually creating blockages, ripples, if you will. Like one in regards to being truly happy, because you're too busy nitpicking, worrying about how Kelly's things should be, that you're not enjoying what you have right now. You're not enjoying the simple things, or the things. It's like how many years? 13 years ago. If you look at overall life, don't think about your ex, okay? Like just you, Kelly, like Kelly's routine, Kelly's day, excluding him, okay? 13 years ago, you were striving for more than half of the things that you actually have today. And now that you have those things today, you're not even looking at the shiny gold that you have. You're too busy. And he's saying stop doing that. That's because it's there's a culmination of reasons why you're crying, okay? But when I say culmination, there's planets out there, and we'll talk about the planets afterwards. But because I was crying too, like a lot of people that I talked to were crying, So, and it was over nothing, but it wasn't nothing because it's deeper than that. So,
Right.
Harold, go further. You need to reduce your stress by taking on less things. Now that's like in your head, okay? Taking on less things, that doesn't mean stop doing the things that you're doing. It means do them differently. And when it starts in your mind. Right down to even how you're perceiving it to be a job or a chore or a task.
Okay.
You want to ask him anything?
What does he think about, like, the whole Mark situation? Uh-oh.
The energy got itchy. Like,
Uh-oh.
what it felt like is if I was to take a wish and in your face. Like, it all.
Oh.
Hold on. Harold Sadler, can you please tell me how you feel about Mark and Kelly? He goes, at the end of the day, you're going to drag it as far as you can. Those were the first. Like, I heard drag, and I go, what about drag? You're going to drag it as far as, okay, but how do you feel about, what is your point of view of Mark? I heard the word asinine. I would have to Google to, like, really elaborate on, like, my point of view of that, but, like, asinine was the first word. I heard over the top. He projects a lot of his internal affairs, pains, issues, whatever. He projects it a lot. He says that's no bueno. He says that just looking at Mark as a person, he's not able to self-regulate. And that is his biggest personal deep issue. And it pours out on everyone. He says eggshells. Like, you should not ever feel like you have to walk on eggshells around him or anyone, and that should be a red flag. So the next time that you feel that way, even if it's subconscious to you, and then it clicks, oh, why am I walking on eggshells? Pay attention to it, what exactly it is that he's doing or saying or has an issue with, that in that moment, like when you feel like to be walking on eggshells. All right, so why are you saying this? What is she supposed to do with that? It's going to give you that shove in the booty for you to put the hatch in it. He does not think that you are supposed to be with him, but he's not. It's not his place to tell you. It's not like he's joking. He goes, it's not like he's going to ask for my blessing.
No. Yeah, I know. I never did. And nobody else ever did.
That, he said in a joking kind of like way.
Yeah. But yeah, I know he's not my person. I know he's not. So, and there's somebody else that's kind of coming in there, but it's not. I mean, it's like way early in the stages.
But even with that being said, and now just set that right over there. I'm telling you, the feeling that it made me feel when he had me talking about observe what his problem is when you feel the eggshell. It's going to create this alarming feeling in you. It's going to be like a trigger of a feeling that you felt long ago, way before he was ever in your life, and you're going to be like, oh hell no! Like it's gonna click for you. It's gonna be the driving force. It's gonna be like the last hay, on the camel's back kind of thing, and it's
So I'm trying to decide if this person's going to be number 3 in a situationship, or if I'm going to let this one go and like have this other person in.
Wait, so you mean like stay with Mark, and then this other person kind of comes in more and more and more, and then you bust out of Mark? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're trying to say? Okay, I just want to make sure I was understanding it right. Harold, what do you have to say about that?
she's a dirty girl and she'll do what she wants to do. But
he goes, this has nothing to do with timing. Because I always want to know if it's like time sensitive or anything like that. Or like divine timing. It's nothing to do with timing, like externally. It's when you decide it's enough. So however far along you decide to take it. Now, can you just answer the question? It feels like you'll entertain this person and still entertain Mark. And that's what it takes, he's saying. Honestly, that's what it's going to take. Because you have this fear in the background about work. And I understand that. But this is what he's bringing forward. So it's going to get to the point where Mark kind of gets like, what's going on? Like kind of starts to like pick up on the vibe, like, are you cheating on me? Is someone else there? Or not even the cheating. It's you spacing yourself. Like you're sailing away. Like you're drifting away. You know, like not answering texts, not even making plans. Can't even cancel plans because you're not making them. It's going to get like that. And then he's going to get to the point where he's going to be like, what's up? You know? And then that's the platform.
This one is being real, like, mysterious. But I like it to a point, but then to a point I don't, because like, you know, I've been out of the game for so long that I don't particularly know the game, and so I'm just like, hey buddy, I need to know like more about you, like who are you, like, are you who you say you are, and what are you doing, type thing. So, like,
does he answer the questions?
He does for the most part. He, like, so he tells me, like, what his name is. And I'm like, so is that really your name? What happened is, I didn't catch him, but I kind of did, because I was like, well, how old are you? And he was like, I said, what year were you born? And he said, 1966. And I said, oh, okay. Not a big deal. Mark's born in 62, you know. So we were just talking and everything. Then he was like, do you have any other pictures? Because I see you in this picture and this picture, but I don't see anything else because my thing is so locked down with Chris and all that situation. And I said, yeah. So I sent him a friend request, and he looked through all my things and everything. And I looked through all of his things, and his profile said that he was born in 76. So I was like, so were you born in 66 or 76? Because your profile says 76, but you told me 66. And he said, no, I was born in 1966. He said, I have a crazy ex who stalks me somewhat like your ex-husband stalks you. And so it's kind of a diversion. And I was like, okay. So then last night I was like, so is Josh Rose really your name? And he said, well, I don't know. And I was like, well, you're talking about all these different things. He didn't really say he didn't know. He was like, kind of like earn my trust type thing, kind of being like mysterious or whatever. And I was like, dude, I really don't care what your name is. It really doesn't matter to me. I just want to know what your story is. Why are you in the Green? What's your name?
How long have you been talking to him?
Just a few days. I mean, it's very, very new.
So your dad said run, like 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Nope. Okay, so he is not the one that your dad is talking about. There's another interest or someone to talk to that's going to be coming through. It's not this guy. Okay, it's not this guy. I swear to God, it's not this guy. He said run, but then I was like, well, let me just break out the cards and see. I just asked what you need to know about him. 8 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, so that's you guys talking. Queen of Swords and King of Cups in reverse. Knight of Swords upright. So he's lying about everything. Okay, Queen of Swords in reverse is I'll say whatever the hell I want to get whatever I want. King of Cups in reverse is I will manipulate you. I will emotionally manipulate you. Now, Knight of Swords upright with these two cards in reverse, as well as he is seeing other people. Or that crazy psychotic ex or whatever is not really an ex. Or maybe they're not together, but it's like they will fuck. Like, they will come together and whatever. It's what it feels like is, you know, like a baby mama and a baby daddy, and it's like they're not together, and like they might even have like other relationships, but then like randomly they'll get together and have sex because like they can't leave each other alone. Like that's what the vibe feels like with this psychotic person. Four of Pentacles is a keeping closed off energy. Four of Wands, that's probably like marriage or relationship. Yeah, Nine of Swords, anxiety and fear. Ace of Swords, that you will see the truth. Six of Cups, about someone from the past. Yeah, no, I would not trust him. Now, if you just want to like have fun and like mind stimulation conversation, like whatever, like I know, I get it. I've been there. Like I can't tell you how many scummy guys I talked to online that like I knew was never going to go anywhere, was not good for me. Like, but I love the attention, you know. So it's kind of like that. Like you can use him for attention, you can use him for the you know, ego stroke, whatever. But I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. That's, you know, but
don't mix your energy is what you're saying. Just don't mix your energy is
right.
What you're saying.
I wouldn't give like hardly anything. Like I would just let him. But he is a lesson. It's like a say no lesson, but it's also a self-exploratory lesson, because if you in your mind as Kelly, everything has to be just so. This is the opposite of that. You see? So it's kind of like how far in the cage can you get your hand to pet the tiger without getting bit? It's like that. That's how it feels. But you want to put your hand in the cage.
Yeah, I
but
want more than that in the cage.
Right. Yeah. But making sure that you get your hand out in one piece, that's the lesson. Like that's the best metaphorical analogy that I can give you in regards of this Mysterioso.
I pretty much just need to leave it alone then.
That's up to you. But your dad is telling you, I'm telling you, and the cards have told you, Mark is not the one.
Oh, I know.
Like for just so. Let me ask your dad, Harold Sadler. Is there, in regards of fear with work, is there a solution or an easy way to exit this dynamic unscathed? You have to sit down and just be honest with him and let him know that this cannot exist anymore, because it's already really not existing, and that you guys had a connection and it was fun for what it was when it could be, but you cannot sit here and not be honest that you are not being fulfilled in regards of love. Now, friendship, yes. Coworker, yes. So thank you and thank you, but no thank you. We can't. I respect you enough to be honest with you. And I hope that you would be too. And I hope that this doesn't damage what we do have at this point. Now, and remembering what we don't have and what we do have, and that we can both move forward as adults. He's just saying, like, just being very straightforward, and he goes, in reality, what is he going to do? And he said it just like that, like in regards of work. So
he really can't, because like he would be gone like that.
Exactly. So, and that's the other thing too. Mark struggles with control. Like, he needs to be in control of every fucking situation. Like, that's what it feels like to me anyway. So, it feels like there's been a challenge in the past, or maybe all the time, about like, you can't ever be in control of a situation, even if it's personal to you, because he's going to have something to say about it. And that is like one of the biggest fucking issues. And if that's something that you need to say to him as well, it's being very clear and very direct and having authority in what you're saying.
Yesterday, I don't remember what it was. It was such a small detail. I can't remember exactly what the situation was, but something happened. And it was like, boom. And I was like, look, you are at a 10, and I'm going to need you at like a 1. Because this is like minor compared to like the big picture. I think it was his key fob on his car or something was acting up, and like it kept like relocking, and he just like freaked out over it. And I'm like, dude, call the dealership. It's not that big of a deal. Just let it go.
Right.
But it's not like, but he was like, I mean, it was like 10, and it was like something that should have been like a 1 or a 2. And I know I do things like that too, but it was just so like, caught me off guard, you know, like, what the fuck?
I think everybody's like that in their own way, and when I get like that, it's when nobody's around. Because I wouldn't want my lover to experience that. I sure as hell am not going to expose Carter to that. I've reached a place of being able to have a higher point of view of understanding, like, yeah, I'm human, so I'm going to do it, but, like, I'm going to be conscious of who I do it around. So
I had to knock him off the ledge. I'm like, dude, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Make a phone call.
And that's not the first time he got really upset about something about your garage or something a while ago too. So
yeah.
That's like again, being in control. Things don't go your way. So perhaps you are karma to him in the sense of when you come and have that conversation of honesty and truth and authority and cannot be with you anymore, it's gonna make him sit. Maybe that's why you came into his life on a more intimate, personal level, because he needs to have this lesson, this experience.
Yeah. I hope I don't break his spirit. That I don't know. He's outside right now on the patio, so I don't know.
That's you having a big heart and caring, but at the end of the day, it's either your spirit is going to break, or a possibility of his.
Well, it's going to be his.
And you need to put yourself first.
I'm done with it. So, I'm done with it. I just need to just do something. So, and I'm tired of hiding about it. Good God, I'm so tired of hiding.
It's being inauthentic, and it's suppressing you. And that's the other thing. When you bust out crying, it's being a human, being me, looking at you. That's you crying to that song because you need your dad, because you want your safe space, because you want your comfort, because you're out of character, you're out of your own energy. That's what happens when you suppress and hold and hide. So it's and then dad's coming in with the song to try to connect to you and be like, I'm here, I am here, look at you, this is not you, this isn't what you do, we don't do this anymore, you've come so far, you have to not save face for somebody else that's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be in your life doing the things that he's doing.
And I told my therapist, I said, I know he's not my person. And I tell him that. I don't tell him specifically that. I just tell him that he thinks that I'm going to just like marry him one day. One day I'm just going to be like, whoop, and just marry him. And I'm like, that's not ever going to happen. He's like, oh, one of these days you're going to fall down on your knees and ask me to marry you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm going to really need you to quit smoking crack because that's never going to happen.
Ooh, that's like womanizer vibes.
That's like not going to happen ever.
That's like, you got a grown-ass man talking about a woman proposing. He needs a reality check.
I'm like, no, you're not ever going to live in this house. I'm not ever going to live in your house. I'm not ever going to ask you to marry me. I'm not ever going to ask you to marry me. If you ask me to marry you, I'm going to tell you no.
So at this point, you know that there's nothing really there. Because how does the saying go? Date to marry. You know? This isn't... You're wasting your energy and your time. And you've shut down your shop. You can't... There is no dating game. Because you're off market. And the energy... So right now, like if you were to go and talk to someone else, anyone else is going to be a cheater. Or is going to have the same characters as him. Because his energy is on you. So that's what you're emitting. So that's what you're calling in. Right now, nobody is for you because you have someone. So until you don't have someone, you're blocking yourself from blessings.
Which is a so-called Josh guy that I don't think Josh is really his name.
No, he's not your blessing. But again, the energy that you are right now. So the energy that you are right now is I'm with somebody that I don't like. I'm with someone that I don't want to be with. I'm with somebody that I know is not going to last, not going to work out, but I don't really know how to tell them no. So the universe is like, oh, this is what you are. This is what we're going to send you. So it's going to send you people that are not your forevers. It's going to keep sending you, if you run across anyone, that's all it's going to be. It's not until you get rid of him, cleanse your energy, completely disconnect, and then open yourself up, that you're in a new frequency. So you're catching new fish, different.
Yeah. So I just got to do it. I just got to bite the bullet and do it.
But you'll be better after.
That's kind of because my dogs really like him.
I know about that too. It's okay though. It's at the end of the day, you have to be the best version of you. Your dogs need you to be. You are not while you're entertaining him. They'll be okay without him, but they will not be okay with you miserable and upset and depressed and because you're not happy where you are.
I wondered because I heard that song and I was like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say to me? Like, I broke down each verse and I'm like, okay, I can see that, I can see that, I can see this. Okay, I think this goes with that. I think that goes with that. So I think part of it was about like his journey on Earth, and then part of it was, like walking with like a one-man army. Okay, that's me helping you through this life because nobody else really would not play. I don't want to say nobody else. Nobody else really stood up to the plate, is what I'm trying to say. And we had this big conversation about when I was a little kid and how he was drinking too much and having, doing drugs and just not being a really good dad and just not really being there for me. And, it's okay. Let's just let it go. Let's just let everything that happened when I was younger, let's just let it go. I forgive you. I love you. I care about you. I want to be able to help you get through all this. And then, I was like his cheerleader all this time. He's like, I'm dying of cancer. And I'm like, Dad, why are you saying that? Your radiologist and your oncologist say that you're doing good and blah, 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 blah. All that time he's preparing me that he's going to die. And I'm the one who's not willing to let it go. I'm the one that keeps fighting.
Right.
And he knows in the end it's better to say too much than not to say anything again.
He's correct.
So.
Absolutely. That's
how I broke it down.
Definitely. And I'm going to add to that. You talk about the past. And we, yes, talk about the past because we have to label like what it is now. Talk about the present. Apply that song in your own time. Apply it to what you can in the present. What's happening right now? Okay. Lessons come from the past. When you get those lessons, which it sounds like you did, then you apply them to the present. Every moment is so important. Every day is so important because it is what exists. It is only what exists. The past is now in a whole nother timeline. It's like in a whole nother parallel universe. You can't reach it. It doesn't exist anymore. Only what exists is right here. And I feel like that's part of what your dad is trying to tell you too. That all that exists is always only right here. Because you can touch right here. You cannot go back there. So pay attention to today. So now, when your dad tells you to pay attention to today, and what is today? Mark. A, B, C, D, F, G. Everything that we've spoken of. So what can you pluck out of your garden? What can stay in your garden? What can you water? What can you invest in?
What do you gotta let go of?
e- exactly what can stay and what cannot stay.
I get it. I just was like, this whole retrograde got me like, ugh. But I mean, in the end, I kind of knew. I just was like, I get it. I get it. But then at the same time, I was like, is there something that I'm missing? What is it that you want to say? Because I think this is what you mean. I mean, I sat down like later that night and kind of, I'm an overthinker, Car. I'm such an overthinker. And so I just sat down and just thought about everything and kind of broke it down line by line. Okay, I think this is what he's saying. I think this is what he means.
Here's another thing too. When he speaks about say everything. It's better to say it than for it to never have been said. If you now tie that in with being present, if you were to say everything in this present moment, like how your dad is talking about, who and what would be in your life still, and what wouldn't? Because you know, if you were to say everything that your dad is saying to say, he wouldn't be here anymore. Mark would not be here. And a bunch of other things too. So, because I know that you bite your tongue a lot in all different areas of your life. So,
I don't even know that I would be divorced because I wouldn't have said half the things that he said to me. You know what I mean?
Right. But your dad's funny in regards of the divorce. Like just that you got it and good for you and how proud he is moving forward. And look at you now. Look at where you're at. And, so don't go back to when you were married, like speak. Because you were so miserable and so unhappy and being accused of all kinds of stupid shit at the end, And it's like you could only say so much. You wanted to say more, but for whatever reasons, your reasons, you didn't. But, and you learned the lessons of being the prisoner. But if you don't feel like a prisoner right now, then I don't really know how else to make you see that you are a prisoner again. And you need to get out of the cycle. And that's what now talking about retrogrades and all the other planets, that is what retrogrades are about. Is for you to see the cycles that you're stuck in and the cycles that you've advanced in. And now talking about the other planets' energy, I can't regurgitate this planet's training that, but I can tell you what the energy is right now, and the energy is looking around at everything that you have and that you entertain, and who's for you and who's not for you. What is for you and what is not for you. And if you can do the purge, all of this is like what I'm remembering from what I read. If you can do this purge and get rid of the things that you know damn well are not for you, the people that don't have your back, the people that are truly not true to you and for you. If you can get rid of all of that, these huge fucking blessings are coming in for you. That's a collective energy. That's the energy that is readily available for us and is going to make swift, smooth progress forward if you utilize it and work through it.
Okay. Yeah, I've been keeping my mouth shut at work, and I don't have an opinion about anything because my big manager, has a habit of going in and just completely cleaning house if he doesn't like the way something's going. And so, I'm just and he's coming in next week, actually. And I'm just I'm not going to that because, we're supposed to have this big meeting. And I totally don't feel comfortable saying anything around that person. And so I'm just and I got a lot of work to do anyway that day.
Yeah, so use your discernment there. I mean, that's learning lessons of the past. You watched what happens when people do that shit in the past. So unfortunately for them, you've learned a valuable lesson without being scathed by watching others. So
on a separate note, look at this. Look at all this moon water.
You go, girl. Ooh, I can feel the energy. Ooh. I love to drink moon water when I need energy. Like if I feel tired and I need a pick me up. If my thoughts are foggy, it makes them clearer. That's my favorite thing.
That's what I did.
That's awesome. I love that. And you can program it too. Just hold the bottle, whatever you need help with. Just say, I am this, I am that, I am that. and then you can drink it, and that will help put, because the moon is a battery, so that is charged water. So you've got, each one is a spell. Each bottle that you have will be a spell for you, and you've already got your battery. It's like a lit candle, and then you just whisper to it what is, when in reality it's what you want, but you know what is happening to you. So I'm single, I'm beautiful, I'm happy. Chug, 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 chug. Just an example. So, but yeah, you got a nice arsenal there. I like that.
Thank you. I went to Sam's. Thank you.